This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 3. How will we escape if we neglect such a great salvation? It was first communicated through the Lord and was confirmed through us by those that heard him. I like to give all praises and glory to Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. I like to give all glory and praises and honor to Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the men of GMS who are well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is Brother Boaz on the set once again. How shall we escape if we neglected such a salvation as this? Okay, you gotta stop dragging your feet, stop dragging your knuckles. Okay, and get serious about Yahweh Yahweh Shai, so you can make it out with your life when this thing goes down. Okay, or you're gonna have to get put to death violently and come back on the other side through the loins of the elect. Okay, but on this first train ride, if you have to be diligent. Okay, so you can make it out with your life when this thing goes down. That's what this thing's all about. Let's get it. The book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to Yahweh and put off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of Yahweh come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and shalt perish in the day of vengeance. So that's what this thing's all about, okay? You got to hold yourself diligent. If you're not diligent in Yahweh Yahushai, soon your house will be overthrown. The book of Sirach, chapter 27, verse 3. Unless a man holds himself diligently in the fear of Yahweh, his house shall be soon overthrown. Okay? So that's what this thing's all about. That's what this thing's all about. Holding yourself diligent, keeping yourself diligent in Yahweh Yahushai. The book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 4. For it was impossible in the case of those things who have once been enlightened to taste the heavenly gift, becoming partakers of the Spirit and taste of the word of power and the miracles of the coming age, and have committed apostasy, to renew themselves again to repentance, since they are crucifying the Son of Power, and they for themselves are all over again holding him to contempt. For the ground that has soaked up the rain that frequently falls on it, and hell's use of vegetations for those who have received the blessings of your power. But if it becomes produces thorns and thistles, it is useless and about to be cursed, and his fate is to be burned. Okay, so that's what this thing's all about. Okay, the fate of this thing is to be burned. Okay, that's what this thing's all about. Let's get it. The book of Second Peter, chapter 3, verse 3. Above all, understand in the last days there shall be scoffers coming and prepared by their own urges, for their saying, "We, where is the promised return? For ever since our ancestors died, all things continued as they were from the beginning of creation. For they deliberately suppress this fact that through the word of power, the heavens existed long ago, was formed out of water and by the means of water, and through these things that were existed at the time they was destroyed when it was a deluge with water. By the same words, the present heavens and earth have been reserved for fire, and by keeping kept for the day of judgment for the and destruction of the ungodly. So that's what this thing's all about, okay? This thing is about the destruction of the ungodly, okay? That's what this thing's all about. Keeping yourself steady in Yahweh Shai. That's what this thing's all about. Verse 8. Now, dear friends, do not let one of you escape this notice that a single day and it's like 1,000 years with Yahweh, and 1,000 years are like a single day. Yahweh is not slow concerning his promise, but so, as some regards slowness, less it but put to patience towards you, because he does not wish anyone to perish, but all to come to repentance. Here's the point. But the day of Yahweh will come like a thief, and when it comes, the heavens will disappear with a horrific noise, and the celestial bodies will melt away, and it will blaze and ablaze, and the earth and every deed done on it will be laid bare. Since all these things are to melt away in this matter, what sort of people should we be? You must conduct your life in holiness and godliness, okay? So this thing's going down, okay? So what people are you should be? The book of Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9. Look, Yahweh day of judgment is coming. It is a day of cruelty and savage rays of anger, destroying the earth and annihilating its sinners. Okay? So it's not the sin, it's the sinners Yahweh Shai is coming to annihilate, okay? He's going to destroy this place, okay? So you have to come back to the one that owns you while you still can, okay? While the doors of mercy are still open, okay? The I believe it's already over, okay? We just going to do the motions, okay? And when this thing goes down, all these different groups, a lot of those followers, they're going to forsake them different groups and come over to GMS, okay, if they got some sense, okay? GMS, like we discussed on multiple occasions, they got it. They cracked the riddle. They did it. They did something that those other Israelite groups came to, okay? They got the 100% truth. Verse 10. Indeed, the stars in the sky and their constellation no longer give their light. The sun is darkened as it soon rise, and the moon does not shine. I will punish the world for its evil, and wicked people for their sin. I will put an end to all the pride and insolence. I will bring down the arrogant tyrants. Okay, that's the so-called white man. Okay, he's gonna bring the so-called white man down. The book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 1. Come near, you nations, and listen. Pay attention, you people. The earth and everything that contains must listen. The world and everything that lives in it. For Yahweh is angry at all the nations and is furious with their with their armies. He will annihilate them and slaughter them, okay? So Yahweh ain't coming to play no games with these people, okay? Yahweh ain't coming to play games with these people, okay? He's going to destroy this place, okay? That's what this thing's all about. He's going to destroy this place. The book of Isaiah chapter 26, we can read from 20. Come, my people, enter into your rooms, close your doors behind you for a little while until the angry judgment is over. For look, Yahweh is coming out of the place where he lives to punish the sin of those who lives on the earth. The earth will display the blood shed on it, and it's no longer covered, it's slain, okay? So Yahweh Shai is coming to destroy he's coming out the place where he lives to do what? To destroy this wicked, evil place, okay? Mainly here in America, okay? He's going to destroy this place. The book of Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 7. Like a lion that has come up out of his lair, the one who destroys nations has set forth out of his home base. He is coming out to lay your land waste, and your cities will become a ruin and will lie uninhabited. But put on sackcloth, mourn and wail, say the fierce anger of Yahweh has not turned away from us. When this happens, says Yahweh, the king and his official will lose courage, the priest will be struck with horror, and the prophet will be speechless in astonishment. Okay, yeah, Yahweh ain't nothing to be played with. Okay. Yahweh Shai ain't nothing to be played with, okay? That's what this thing's all about. Saying a game to Yahweh. You playing games with the holy God, you're going to be destroyed. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 28. Let's go to it. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 28. Some who rejected the law of Moses was put to death without mercy on the testimony of 2 to 3 witnesses. How much greater punishment do you think the person deserves who has contempt for the Son of Power and profaned the blood of the covenant that was made holy and the insolent the spirit of grace? For we know the one who says, vengeance is mine, I will repay. And again, Yahweh will judge his people. It is a terrifying thing to fall into the hands of the living power, okay? It's a terrifying thing to fall into the hands of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. It's a terrifying thing to fall into the hands of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, okay? The book of Hebrews chapter 12, verse 25. Take care not to refuse the one who is speaking, for they will not escape when they refuse the one who was warned them on earth. How much less shall we if we reject the one who warns us from heaven. Okay, so that's what this thing's about. That's what this thing's all about. So hopefully you was edified. I like to give all praises and glory to Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Shalom.